Hi, Kate here. I want to give you a little example of a warm-up using the straw phonation, the semi-occluded vocal tract exercise. I'm using a singing straw. It's 3 millimeters in diameter and it's metal, so it has its own little harmonic properties. It's also dishwasher safe and not plastic, so plastic doesn't end up in our oceans, which is a big deal to me. But I really like this straw in general. I feel like it does a nice job of really getting the pelvic floor engaged. So your base of your power system, I feel like it helps entrain the vocal folds for your optimized sound source. And it also builds on the interaction between the sound source and the resonator along with the power source together all in one little instrument. So I love it. It's easy, it's stretchy, it's a good voice building approach, and it's gentle. And if you want something even more gentle on days where the voice feels swollen, or maybe you're getting over a cold, or I use this even with patients who are released to use their voice post-operatively, but we do work in the straw, in water. So lots of options, but let's just start with the straw out of the water to begin with. So my rules for the straw may be different than others, but I always like to start with just airflow blowing into the straw. That way you kind of get a sense of how much air should be coming out of the end of the straw without the voice, just air blowing. And I'll put my tongue on the bottom lip just to get the tongue out of the play or out of the game for phonation, because oftentimes it does like to engage more than we want it to. So blow, then add voicing. And you'll see I even puff up my cheeks a little bit. This gets a little bit more back pressure in the sound production. And you just want to make sure that the airflow volume stays the same during the straw phonation. So if your volume of air decreases, there's a good chance that the throat musculature is engaging and actually impeding the airflow. So we don't want to get better at that. Our first exercise is going to be a full pitch glide. So again, tongue on the bottom lip, a little airflow first. So usually the first time in that full pitch range, I don't have as smooth a sound as I'd like to, so I do a couple of these. So and already that's better. One more time, just for good measure. And you notice that I move my head a little bit. That is just to otherwise occupy the muscles that tend to want to engage and diminish the airflow. So just a little head bobble kind of helps to not recruit those muscles here. You can do more than 3. I just do at least 3. But again, just listen to your own voice. The next exercise is full octave slides. And the slower you slide, the more information you get in to the body and brain. So I like going relatively slowly. I think it's helpful. And the goal is just to feel like it's one voice. You're not really feeling like you're singing through registers. You're just singing your voice. So we're going to start at the Judy Garland Over the Rainbow pitch range, A flat. Excellent. And you can see you can go down lower if your pitch range extends below A flat, below middle C, and you can go as high as you feel comfortable and stable. The next exercise I like is a little bit of a mix-up. We're going to still get that octave slide, but we're going to start with 5, slide down to 1, back up to 8, and back down to 1. So wonderful. And you might notice that you start to feel something happening in your pelvic floor. So if you're seated, that's between your sit bones is that little muscular group that's considered the bowl of the pelvis or the pelvic floor. And that pelvic floor co-coordinates with the abdominal wall musculature, primarily the transversus abdominis, and they're responsible for pressure generation. So you might feel a little lift as you blow in the straw. And when you add voicing, there's a little bit more presence there. And that's something that you can put your brain in and just notice that activity in your pelvic floor and your abdominal wall. So the pelvic floor is moving up and in toward your bladder, and your abdominal wall is moving inward toward your spine. And that coordination helps create intra-abdominal pressure, which is what we ultimately need for subglottic pressure for phonation. All right, little science additive there. Now we're going to do an extended pitch arpeggio, actually. So and again, this is an extended stretch exercise, so you're going to get up pretty quickly into your upper range. So only go as high as it feels comfortable and stable, and keep the head bobble going so that you don't lock and engage here. Go as high as it feels stable always, go as low as it feels stable. This should feel coordinated and gentle. If you're having a little difficulty with a small diameter straw like this, if you buy the singing voice straw, or the singing straw, it comes in a little case with 3 of these, and you can always double up and see if that makes it easier. Or you can do this same exercise in water. So like that. The bubbles tell you when the air is moving, and that's a nice feedback, but you get dual resistance that way, kind of like working out in a swimming pool. Obviously, this is just a simple beginning to using semi-occluded vocal tract exercises with the 3mm straw. You can open up the exercise into vowels as you feel comfortable, but these little exercises are great as just an everyday voice building kind of routine. And I think you'll find that it strengthens your voice and your pelvic floor and really opens up your resonator. All right, enjoy.